So our next presenter before lunch is from Accenture. I'm sorry, it's too much. So our next presenter is from Accenture to answer some questions about what you need to ask yourself before you start investing in humanoid robotics. So please give a warm round of applause to Christian Souche. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm very excited today to be on stage at this Humanoid Summit. I've been in Europe a month ago about the European version of this summit, and now in the US. I'm very excited, but I'm a bit frustrated about the slots because I happened to be right after a very cool slot and a very nice, funny robotics, and just before the lunch, which is giving me the slot that is quite complex to be dealing with. But today, firstly, I'm managing director. I'm leading globally our robotics innovation and physical AI innovation department in Accenture. We have a team spread across multiple regions between Europe, North America, and of course in APAC region. And we are truly believing that the next wave of automation and autonomy is going to be powered by physical AI. So today, when we look about physical AI, and I think that you have been already going through a lot of presentation about what is physical AI, we see that this is really the next wave of artificial intelligence that is going to power autonomy and automation. And we truly believe that it is going to be a huge revolution across industries. So when we look about physical AI, today we simplify the technologies around three main technologies. We have, of course, artificial intelligence, AI. This technology that is today truly addressing the automation about physical operations. So AI remains one of the core dimensions. Secondly, we have simulation. And I will get to present later on in the presentation why simulation is critical in the success of physical AI. You can't just train your physical AI model by using teleoperation. You need to use other source of information and other source of data. Synthetic data will be critical in the success of physical AI. So simulation remains a key component of the success of physical AI. The last one is the platforming. Platforming because I have seen a lot of presentation today, yesterday. It gives a lot of excitement about how we train one robot, how we make the robot smarter, how we deploy physical humanoids. But tomorrow, you will have to deal with a fleet of robots. And you need to get a platform to orchestrate and manage those robot operations. So platforming will remain a key component of the success of physical AI and the humanoid deployments. So when we look about the cross-industries, and we make a research recently in Europe, I know that yesterday I have my dear friend of McKinsey presenting the market research about North America. But in Europe, we have been looking about what will be the transformation around physical AI. And if you look across the industries, we have noticed across all the leaders we have been working with that today, physical AI will be truly accelerating in few industries. So of course, we have automotive industries, life science, industrials, and public services. Doesn't mean that the others are not going to adopt physical AI and that are not going to be adopting it. But when we discuss with leaders and we make a survey about where they see this transformation happening, they have, of course, highest demand and highest expectation specifically across those industries. So physical AI is going to be truly changing the way that we are managing our robots. Because robots exist for more than 40 years. And of course, when I get to present, we are doing robotics, people still believe that we are speaking about all robotics. We are truly looking about the next generation of robotics. Those that are truly addressing the next level of autonomy and where we are truly addressing the transformation about those robots taking their own decision, perceiving, understanding, interacting. So when we look about this vast majority of next generation of robotics, we have few form factors, okay? AMRs, AGVs are certainly those that has been largely adopted already by most of the industries. We have the drones, we have, of course, the quadrupeds, we have those hybrid mobile, and we have humanoids. Humanoid is certainly one of the most exciting form factors today. We have on a daily basis clients asking about how we can start piloting humanoids. But I think that broadly speaking, for all the leaders looking about the future of robotics, humanoid is one form factors, but they have to think about broadly all the form factors, because physical AI is not going to power just humanoids, but all the future of robotics. So that brings me to the question about those 5 top questions. And today I would like to help you because, you know, I have been working with a lot of leaders, and they start to buy humanoids. They have 3, 4, 5 humanoids. I think that truly the problem is that it doesn't know how to make it work, and it doesn't deliver the value that is expected. So today I would like to answer 5 questions. 5 questions that we have for most of our clients to understand about what they need to do in humanoid. Should they get to invest, and how they have to invest? So I pick up the 5 most frequent questions we receive from clients, and I will try to go through all of them. Some of them have been partially answered, but I will spend some time for those that I think have not been truly answered yet. So firstly, what role will be the humanoid in my business? So very honestly, manufacturing, warehousing is truly the place where we see the highest potential on short term. We have been interviewing more than 500 factory sites across the world, and we had a very interesting result of 58% believe human will be part of the workforce by 2040. So it is 15 years from now, but it gives just a perception about how the transformation should happen. And interestingly, if you look about those numbers, beyond the 58%, you look about the regions. You can look about India, China, and Japan. The percentage is way higher. I think that the trust in humanoids in those regions is way higher than compared to Europe and in North America. So there is a question. The technology will be the same across the world. So there is no difference about technologies. But there is a difference of culture, understanding, and perception about those technologies. Manufacturing warehousing is truly the place where we see short-term opportunities. But the question will be use cases. And I will get to answer about this question about how to truly start piloting this. I will be honest, car giving, customer services, it is not where we see the highest appetite and where we see the strongest potential for the short term. We have been working with a lot of clients again. It is not where we have the highest numbers of demands. And I started to work on humanoids exactly 12 years ago on the paper robot from Aldebaran of SoftBank. For those that I remember, it was the white robot. It was a kind of robot for customer services. It has been used to create some branding, some marketing campaigns, but didn't scale. I think that today we are truly in a new technologies that could be scaling in those domains. But as soon as you start deploying a robot in an uncontrolled environment with untrained people, you increase the risk of failing. And I think that's in a warehousing and manufacturing, we are in total control of the environments, and we can have trained resources. So that's the reason why those other use cases will be quite more challenging for the scale of humanoids. So second question is, what is the expected return on investment? So it is a very complex question. And the reason it is a very complex question is because, in my opinion, and what we see from Accenture, there are 3 vectors of calculating the ROI and the value case about humanoids. There is a pure financial dimension. Okay, I have clients, they start calculating. I have 10 people working in my warehouse. I put 10 humanoids. So it is a very simplistic way of maybe making the calculation, but it gives a financial way of calculating what will be the ROI of your humanoids. Nonetheless, today, humanoids couldn't be just a labor cost calculation. There is, of course, a dimension that could go beyond. Of course, the robot will be decreasing. There will be a financial equation that will make the robot way more competitive at a point and will truly drive some financial positive impact. But there is non-financial dimension. The way that the robot is going to improve the quality, to increase the productivity, managing more complex tasks potentially that a human couldn't get to deal in terms of efficiencies. So there is a non-financial dimension that has to be integrated. And lately, when we are making the calculation about the value of those use cases, we integrate the dimension about the long-term transformation. All our clients are going to transform by adopting physical AI. they have certainly a journey that could be 5, 10 to 15 years, depending on the industry. They have to start looking about how they are going to transform, and humanoid is already starting to stress their existing operations. When they are already dealing with AMRs and they are failing to scale AMRs, they know that their system is not going to work for this new form of robots. So this is an important way. We have been developing some solution with MIT to directly run some calculation about the business case of adopting robotics and, more importantly, humanoids. And we have been running some business case calculation, looking about what is the percentage of automation we could address, and then calculating what will be the ROI of those emerging technologies. So now the question will be how to select the good hardware. And that is the $10 million questions, because we have this question happening very frequently. Today, I think that there are 3 dimensions we have to explore, because there are a lot of humanoid vendors, and I'm really sorry for if this picture is not up to date. I feel sometimes we have a new humanoid company per week, and of course it is very intense to keep maintaining the inventory. We have today a huge directory with all the humanoid vendors, with all the technical capabilities, but 3 dimensions. First, there is hardware question, the form factor. We have seen humanoids just before. I think that they have a very exciting form factor. There are some other robots that are more, not the catwalk version, because I know that it doesn't make happy the CEO, but I think that there is this very human-looking humanoid. There is others that are very small and very nice for entertainment. So there is clearly a question about the form factor that will be critical. Secondly, there is a dimension that beyond the hardware. Don't just look about what the robot looks like. Don't look about just the payloads. You need to have a validation that you can control the humanoid, that you can train the AI of the humanoid, and that you can integrate the humanoid in your existing system. So looking about purely the hardware is the biggest error, in my opinion. The third point is you will not have just one single humanoid in your company. There will be a lot of humanoids. I mean, look about this. You will have maybe one that is more for dexterity, some others that are more for EV charge lifting. So there will be not just one single humanoid per industry or per company. There will be multiple humanoids depending about the task and the capability. And obviously, I don't think that there is today one single use case, killing use case for humanoids. I think that the beauty of the humanoids is the versatility of the capabilities that the robot can offer. So now there is the fourth question. The fourth question is how to integrate the humanoids in the processes and in the operation. It is a critical point as well about how you are going to go to the scale. We are looking about a lot of pilots, but the scale is critical to make sure that the robot is going to operate in an efficient way. So today, we are recommending to be starting digital twin simulation, but the physical simulation. I mean that having truly a space where you can test out use cases, testing out how the robots are going to operate, and making sure that you can measure the efficiency of your humanoids. So I would like to start by presenting one project that we delivered recently. That is not humanoid-led, but you will understand the logic about how we are going to transform workforce operation for our client, and understanding about how humanoids are going to step in this journey. So just a short video of 2 minutes with our clients, Kion. Audio.
Professional services and NVIDIA are bringing physical AI to the $1 trillion warehouse and distribution center market. Managing high-performance warehouse logistics involves navigating a complex web of decisions influenced by constantly shifting variables. These include daily and seasonal demand changes, space constraints, workforce availability, and the integration of diverse robotic and automated systems. And predicting operational KPIs of a physical warehouse is nearly impossible today. To tackle these challenges, Kion is adopting Mega, an NVIDIA Omniverse blueprint for building industrial digital twins to test and optimize robotic fleets. First, Kion's warehouse management solution assigns tasks to the industrial AI brains in the digital twin such as moving a load from a buffer location to a shuttle storage solution. The robot's brains are in a simulation of a physical warehouse, digitalized into Omniverse using OpenUSD connectors to aggregate CAD, video and image to 3D, LiDAR to point cloud, and AI-generated data. The fleet of robots execute tasks by perceiving and reasoning about their Omniverse digital twin environment, planning their next motion and acting. The robot brains can see the resulting state through sensor simulations and decide their next action. The loop continues while Mega precisely tracks the state of everything in the digital twin. Now, Keon can simulate infinite scenarios at scale while measuring operational KPIs, such as throughput, efficiency, and utilization, all before deploying changes to the physical warehouse. Together with NVIDIA, Keon and Accenture are reinventing industrial autonomy.
So 2 points critical in this story. I will try to speed up a bit my presentation. I'm a bit late, but firstly, we have the real-time decision and adaptation. What does it mean? It means that in real time, we can control the operations. We have in real-time control, monitoring of all physical operation happening in the warehouse. So we can track human moving, robot moving, forklift, AMRs, parcels moving. Everything is completely tracked by using our system of cameras and connectors and replicate it back in Omniverse. The beauty of this technology is, of course, you can have a live understanding about your operation and in live managing your operation and orchestration of the activities. So if you recall, we mentioned about the story about having one humanoid or one robot that will be deployed. Don't look about one robot and one humanoid deployed. You will have to deal with a fleet of robots, and you need to have a capacity of dealing with these full orchestrations. So I wanted to give another videos about release that a bit few months ago, but the same principle about if you can look on this video, we have an autonomous forklift and one manual forklift. Both are completely tracked directly in the system, and you can see the Omniverse version where we have a live duplications. So tomorrow, when your humanoid will be deployed and they will be operating, we can directly in live control their operation, control the other system operation and human workforce operations, and directly giving the indication and instruction about how to operate to keep maintaining the highest level of productivity. The last point is simulation at scale, so how you can try a lot of scenarios. I mentioned about you have a lot of use cases, a lot of scenarios. Once you have a duplication, a digital twin of your space, warehouse, or manufacturing, you can start testing out a lot of scenarios. What if I use an AMR? What if I use a stationary robot? What if I use 10 humanoids? So the principle will be having an environment where you don't try your physical robot in your warehouse or in your manufacturing, but directly a place where you can test virtually to measure the efficiency. And that will be potentially the place where you can try multiple hardware solutions to figure out what is the one that is the most efficient and the most effective. And of course, that is the baseline that is helping us to build the foundation of scaling robotic and humanoids. The last question, of course, is how do we train the humanoid robot? I think that there were a lot of presentations very recently. So I think that's just earlier today. We had a DeepMind, we had a Skill yesterday, Field AI. So I think that there are a lot of companies exploring the way that we are going to train the new VLM model that is going to accelerate the autonomy of those humanoids. So I will be a bit quick about this, but that is a way that we get to present this transformation between having a stage where we are coding robots to a stage where we are teaching robots. And of course, when you are teaching a robot, you have not 100% accuracy, but at least the robot could manage any non-static situation and can adapt on whatever the change that could happen. Whereas when you have a coded version, you can have a way higher level of performance as long as the system remains static, which is going to change in the near future in manufacturing, warehousing, and more importantly, in public spaces. So we have a scan of what are the platforms to use. It is non-exhaustive. There are others that are very exciting and that are coming. So I don't want to disclose all the information about this, but we have a broad scan about all platforms that could be considered for training and accelerating the use of robotics and physical AI. So this is the work we are doing in our labs, a lot of imitation learning. Finally, just to complete, we have our own RoboBrain. So the solution we are using to inject intelligence in robotics, across robotics, humanoid included. In our RoboBrain, we have the full stack from data collection, training, and runtime execution. The principle about our platform is not to get to compete with all the great players on the ecosystem. We are partnering with most of the best players in the ecosystem, and we are maximizing the use of their solution to directly help our clients to accelerate the execution of those new physical AI solutions in their robots. So just to complete, because I think that I'm at the end of my session, the key takeaways. For all the leaders looking about acquiring humanoids, you have certainly in this room the best humanoid companies in the world. But the first question starts by defining the use case. Make sure that you have a proper understanding about what are the list of use cases. You don't need one, you need all the use cases. Because if you start with just one, humanoid will never be relevant. Secondly, prove the value of those solutions. So make sure that you have a proper business case, value case about those humanoid use cases. Build the foundation in terms of physical AI platform, in terms of orchestration systems. You are not ready today to adopt humanoid at scale. There is huge transformation, and those foundations are critical in the success of humanoid scale in your company. And lately, of course, identify the right hardware partner. You need to be working with all the best partners in this humanoid industry and making sure that they are compatible with your foundations. Lastly, simulate and pilot. So I'm at the end of the session. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. I don't know if you have time for questions. I think it's over.
Because we are that, but thank you very much, Christian. Is there any quick questions from the audience? We probably have time for at least one.
Good. I had already 5 questions answered in my session, so that's why.
Thank you so much, Christian.
Thank you.
Okay, so